Welcome to Radio Fixer's channel. Subscribe for upcoming videos. In this video, I will show you step by step how to rebuild multi-section electrolytic capacitors inside an aluminum canister. This method is commonly used in vintage electronic restoration to preserve the original appearance while improving reliability. You will learn how safely discharge electrolytic capacitors, how to open aluminum canister, how to remove old electrolytic components, how to install modern replacement capacitors, also how to reseal the canister for a clean original look. Multi-section electrolytic capacitors, they are come in different shape. Is like this one is a paper capacitor installed in the top. In the other pictures, as you see, is an aluminum can. That's the one that they're going to work on today. The third one is installed usually under the chassis. This is a multi-section electrolytic capacitor. Actually, I made a video that I'm going to put it up here. You can watch to see how I actually create one of this. Walk you through step by step how to build something like this. This tutorial is perfect for restoration of vintage radio, amplifier, and other classic electronics equipment. Enjoy the video. Really, my goal is to create these videos so a brand new person can use the information and be able to get into the hobby. It is really a wonderful hobby and very rewarding to bring back something that totally dead back to life and sing again. I have listed the product I use in the notes section of this video. You can support this channel by shopping through the links below at no extra cost to you. Thank you for your support. I hope you enjoy watching this video. Let's get started. You see, there are three capacitors. They're all 60 microfarad. They're all 150 volts, as you see. What I will do, I'm going to try to remove this, cut this, and install the new one inside this canister. The issue is they do not make 60 microfarad capacitors. There are like 47, 10, but not 60. And this is very awkward to me because I never saw something that all of them the same value. Very, very interesting. I'm sure there should be very off. I will measure it. Always the best practice is to discharge the electrolytic capacitors before you work on it, especially if the radio was on, since they hold the charge for a long time. So let me show you how I discharge those electrolytic capacitors that is installed in the radio. Usually this is the process I take to discharge, those capacitors. There are several ways you can do that. The way I usually do it to be safe and make sure radio is going to be safe as well, I use this type of resistor. As you see, it is a very high ohm value and also watt value. So I hook up one side to the ground. Sometimes the chassis, sometimes I directly, if I have access to the ground wire that it comes out of multi-section capacitor. So let's put it on the ground. Then the other side, I touch each section of the capacitor. This is one section. This will discharge it. That's another section. That's another section. Again, I add that to protect the radio. Some people, they just hook up this directly without using the resistor. I prefer to use the resistor, especially for the radios that it has a high voltage in capacitors, and it can destroy your equipment, your test equipment. It's always a good idea to take a picture before you're removing something. Again, this is for those of you who just got started in this hobby. It's hard to remember all this where they're connected. I was trying to use this, but it's not working here. So I'm going to use this solder wick to do that. And finally it came out. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. See, there's a 3 connection to the ground. So 3 of them you have to unsolder, especially this one right here. They twisted inside. This large one, it was twisted. So you have to untwist that and unsolder it. So usually in other radios there's just one connection, you know, to the ground. Alright, so as you see there's 6 of them I have to unsolder and pull it out. It took a little time because you have to be very careful not damage the PC board. It's very thin PC board, so just take your time. Alright, so I'm going to test this to see how bad they are. Side goes to negative. This is one of the side. Let's test it. Let's see if it holds the value or not. Wow, it's 74 microfarad. It's supposed to be 60. Let's test the other side. That is 78. That's 101. So definitely I need to take care of this, because you see there should be 60 microfarad. If I key this into my database that I designed, you will see how off should be. Alright, let me do that. And this is a database I designed to make my job easier. Hopefully soon I'm going to make some time to finish this thing and make it available. So we're going to go right here in capacitor tolerance. This is electrolytic capacitor, of course. This is the value 60. Is a microfarad. See, I have this for every level I can test. So go to microfarad and tolerance. Usually they're about 20% or so. Let's say 20%. So the minimum can be 47, the maximum 72. As you notice, all of them, they were much higher than 72. So definitely all those 3 capacitors inside the container need to be changed. Again, I put this together, you know, to make my job easier, and instead I do a lot of calculation. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this so be able to install the new capacitors if there is enough space inside this container. I already put a mark, you know, I'm going to make a little distance here so I can tape it together and also keep all this information. So usually what I do is put something like this, something same size. Then use the Sharpie and mark it like that, so I know where to cut. I want my cut be straight, so you see I already marked it, so now I can cut it. I'm going to use this tool to cut it. Of course you can use Dremel if you choose to. So as you see the mark is already there, so just take your time, just cut it. That's all you have to do. It's pretty thin, aluminum, so that's all you do. You just go around and cut it. Alright, yeah, I already cut it. Just pull it out like that. Sometimes there's tar inside, sometimes the newer one, it's just to see, I'm just pushing it back and forth like that. Alright, you see they put some tar in the end. That's why I had a hard time to pull it out. I'm going to clean that as well. And you always need to wear gloves to do this. It's messy, dirty. So let's just unwrap this thing to see what's inside. Because you want to remove this tape here. I guess that was the tape around it. See that? That's all it is. That's how they made this. You see that? That's all it is. It's just paper, some aluminum foil, and chemical between them. And they wrapped it. You see in certain section they put this, and these are connected different microfarad. See, if I keep on wrapping it, I promise should be more here. And this one is not totally dry. Some of them they're totally dry. This one is still has some life in it, as you noticed when I was testing it. You see that? That's all it is. See, we get into another 60 microfarad section. So that's all they did. They run this through different section of this, and it's amazing the way they do this type of thing, that they give you that type of microfarad reading. See, if I move that out, continue taking it out, there should be one more somewhere. See how they put them together here? See that? That's how it attached to different section. Alright, see, this is the ground. Those are each of them, they're 60 microfarad. So now you know how they put this thing together, how they build this. Let me clean up here and clean up here. So let me see if I can install those capacitor inside this container, because this container is pretty small. So next I get something like a nail file, something like that, and take all the sharpness out here, you know, both sides, here and here, because I don't want it cuts me. All right. See what I did, I got a medicine bottle, I put vinegar and put this inside. I'm gonna close the top like that. I let it sit here, soak for a while. My hope is this is going to get rid of all those chemicals. Since I do not have a 60 microfarad capacitor, 150 or 160 volts, I have 10 microfarad, 47 microfarad. Hopefully this is going to work. I cannot put any more capacitor inside here. I have more capacitor that I can make it very close to 60 microfarad, but this is not large enough to do that. So before soldering, I want to see if everything fit here or not. I'm hoping this tree goes first, like that. At first you have to figure out, you know, how to solder all this thing together. Then maybe I can put this one like that. Yeah. So the larger one goes in the bottom, the smaller one in the top. That should work. See, I cannot put more capacitor here to make it close to 60 microfarad. But at least we're going to get close. If I add in 47 and 10, should be pretty close. Of course, they say 47 and 10, and majority of them, they are not that. Sometimes a little higher, sometimes they're a little lower, because they're 20% tolerance that they have all this in capacitors. So hopefully this is going to work. Let's solder them together. At least now I know how they're going to go together. You see how I did this? Negative to negative, I put a little shrinking tube here, then I soldered them right here. See that? Now I'm going to do the same thing to others. Of course, positive going to go to positive as well. I'm going to put shrinking tube here. I'm going to do the same thing with the positive, alright? Alright, let me show you what I did. This is the positive. I soldered it to positive. See that? So positive to positive. Here, negative to negative. So let's see if this is tall enough. Yeah. The negative soldered all together, and now we're gonna install it. After this is sitting in vinegar for about an hour or so, I took it out and rinsed it, cleaned it. Now we're gonna test it. My assumption, this is the negative. Let's make sure. So I'm going to hook this up right here. So we're going to touch the body. So that's the negative. See, if I touch the others, nothing happened. See, no sound at all. So we know this is negative. So the negative need to be soldered to here. If you haven't had the opportunity to check this out on my YouTube channel, check it out. It's reasonable price. It works very well. For the stuff I do, it works very well. So check it out. I use this rotary tool with 4 holes here outside every post. You see that? Right there. And one here too. This is for the ground. The other one, of course, they're each of them going to be 60 microfarad, going to be soldered right to there. This is how inside look like. See that? Majority of capacitor also they have a marking. Like here you see there's a square. See the triangle. Those are in capacitor. It usually tells you. See it has like a square, so you know where to attach them. Of course these are all 60 microfarads, so it doesn't really matter. But if there's a different size microfarad, make sure to connect them to correct one. Let's say if this was 100 and you need to hook it over the square is. Alright? And usually they mark them. I'm going to leave those marks here. That's why I drill usually outside. So this is ready. Now let's install the capacitor here. Actually, I bought this tool through Amazon. It's a rotary tool, very reasonable price, and it works very well. It comes with tons of attachment. If you need something like this, I suggest to buy this. Dremeller, I have Dremeller, but it's pretty expensive these days. But this is exactly the same design of Dremeller, and it's doing a very good job for me. Just want to let you know, I'm going to add the information in the description of this video. Alright, I put tape on here just to pull them together. I add a ground wire to it. Then there is a bend here. I solder it in the center. I cut some shrink tube. Of course, I pre-measured everything, what size I need to cut. Alright. The reason I put those shrink tubes, when I was drilling here, I noticed some area was like a metal. I assumed that metal was connecting all the grounds together. That's my assumption. So I just want to make sure it's protected. So I'm going to fit this through here. Alright, as you see, I already installed it here. Now I'm just putting the wires around those posts. I'm just wrapping it around so I'll be able to solder it. See, I wrapped it very close to the end of there so I can solder this back to the PC board. I didn't want to wrap it here, then it's not going to work, as you know. So let me solder this thing together. I'm soldering from inside and outside. Okay. They're all soldered. Alright, let's put this together. See, I already marked it. It's going to be like that. Alright. So I'm going to tape it. What I'm going to use is an aluminum foil. I'm going to add this to the description of this video. The good thing about this is one side is aluminum. You see, it's pretty close to that one. And actually you can peel it off, and it's the self-adhesive type. I'm using this. I'm pretty happy with it. See how you can peel it off like that? I cut to the size that I need. I'm just going to put it right here. I want to wrap it around. You see this? So next time I want to take this apart, or somebody want to take it apart, they can just take this out and replace the capacitor inside. It's looking good. Again, I want to add this in the description section if you like to order something, and you can cut it to the size. Usually it's about this wide, so as you see, I cut some piece off. Alright, now this is ready to be installed inside the radio. After making this video, I was checking Amazon, and guess what I found? They actually sells capacitors. You know, it comes in the package of 10. They're 200 volt and 68 microfarad. As you know, the voltage, the higher the better, right? Because the radio called for 150 volts, using 200 is fine. But the capacitor, if you want to stay pretty close to 60. So hopefully I can use this in the next project. Let me test this to show you. You see, they're very close to 60 microfarad. I have tested all of them and they're pretty close to this number. So for next project, I'm going to use this. Again, make sure to test your capacitor before you're using them to make sure they're reading correctly, all right? So I can use this in next project. I'm going to add the link to this product in the notes section. Feel free to check it out. I hope you enjoy watching this video. Wishing you a happy holidays. Stay tuned for upcoming videos. You all take care. At this time, I want to take the opportunity and thank my subscribers with their uplifting comment. You always encourage me to upload more videos, since this is just a hobby of mine. Again, I appreciate you. Enjoy all these videos, and you all have an awesome day. Take care. If you're interested to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and you will be notified when new video being uploaded. You have a great day.